Hey, everyone. I just wanted to boot up a little stream real quick. It's not going to be too long. It's not going to be too much. I just wanted to talk about what just happened. I wasn't really planning to do this, but I this is the greatest story ever told. This is something that no one could have predicted. No one could have ever seen coming. It is... This feels like we just saw what StarCraft 2 was made for. This feels like this was the end of a fairy tale. Like it's actually unbelievable. I got to put on the right soundtrack for this. There's only one that really comes to it. There's only one that can like really do what it needs to do. But I really felt like we had to give this moment its due, because my God, did we ever just witness some of the most beautiful history? Oh, I just wanted to give it the time, give it what it deserves, because my God, the man, like, it's just a game, you know? But this was more than just a game, this tournament. This was a man coming in and having the deck stacked against him so much that you didn't even, you're like, is he even in the deck? Like, you know, like, is he even playing? Like, we looked at this, and there was, how many players would you say that could have won this tournament? There was five players that we were like, okay, one of these is the world championship. But he came in and he proved everyone wrong. He proved everyone wrong, and he had a message for the people who said you should retire, and he said, no, let me show you. And his interview, Look at Me Now, was just so beautiful. And the message about his father after he bombs out in, you know, he's been on the rise for a while, but he hadn't won a premier tournament. He comes from a server that they literally shut down just weeks ago. And he comes in and delivers the guttiest, clutchest performance in the history of StarCraft 2. And I just realized something hilariously sad, but that is also kind of like poetically beautiful, is that now Sue's performance is the greatest run in all history of StarCraft 2, gets pushed down to number 2, and that is just too funny. That is so funny, but like like I don't want to take away from it. It's just a funny little thing that I just realized. But this tournament run was so good. And you know, he loses game 1 in the finals and you're like, oh no, Maru's doing it. He's final bossing this. And then time like comes back and he wins. So I couldn't believe it. Game two, we got into game 2 and it was a build order counter. It was proxy 2 Rax Reaper against reactor first gas, double gas. That's, in theory, you can win that, in theory. but it is so difficult. You're looking at a situation where you're down Reapers. You shouldn't be able to win that. He loses like 7 SCVs, falls super far behind, but stays in the game, and then turns it around. And God, it's just. I honestly thought it could have been a 4-0 after the first like 3 minutes of game 2, and then even in game 5. Game 5, Maru is like fighting back. He's doing Maru things. He drops like 7 tanks and starts sieging. He gets what is this close to being a checkmate move, and then Oliveira is just like, no, and just drops Marines on top of it and comes in with some of the clutchest moves of all time. Like every game was a story. Every series was a story. The message he has about what happened, I gotta bring it up because I don't want to mistranslate it, but the message he has about thinking when he's down on the ropes, when he's down so far against Raynor, and he's just like, you know what? I was really down on myself, and I was like, man, I might just lose here. Like, and he's like, but wait, like, no, I could be on a plane back home. And he's just like, I'm just happy to be here. It is the greatest story ever told. It is the greatest story ever told in StarCraft 2 history. Nothing comes close. Nothing comes close to this. I just love this game, man. I love this game, and this is why I cast the game. This is why I play the game. It is time. It is Oliveira. He is the guy who I did this. This is why. This is why we play. This is why we watch. This is it. And I don't think we will ever have such a beautiful story as what we've had in this tournament. And spam this aloe vera to help Oliveira. Like, it's too perfect. And then the little message at the end, SC2 will continue in 2023. This feels like Rocky. This feels like Oliveira was all of us, you know? And right after he completes the most beautiful run in StarCraft 2's history, what does he say? I'm just a normal guy. Anyone could have done this. This could have been you. Like, it is so wholesome. It's so beautiful. I don't know that we will ever... I don't know that we'll ever get a feeling like this after a tournament where, like, I know that it's so cliche, but like my heart feels full. I am giddy. I feel elated. The script writers, they did an amazing job on this one. Like, screw sports, you know? Like, I don't even care. It's stories. This is it. Oh my God. And then as Oliveira, as he wins the championship, he collapses to his knees and looks skyward. He gives a message to the Chinese fans and breaks down into tears. It was... we just watched an anime. It felt like we just watched Haikyuu, you know? And like, this was the view from the top. This was... Oh, this was everything. Like, and yeah, Spanish Goat, greatest thing. This was not him tiptoeing, sneaking his way around like any difficult opponents. This was him coming in against Hero, who has 100 in offense. And you know what? That wasn't high enough. He 3-0 dark in the previous series. He was higher rated than 100. He was 105 in offense today. And Oliveira was like, nah. And he brushes him aside like it's nothing. He goes against Rainer, who Rainer was like Goku this tournament. Rainer went into the hyperbolic time chamber. This was a Rainer unleashed. I talk about hero at 105. Rainer was at 150. He was legitimately overclocked going into this tournament. I don't know if anyone knows about what Rainer did going into this tournament, but he was so special coming into this. He was like practicing Archon against like 4 players, 5 players a day. He was as dialed in, as locked in as we have ever seen him. And Oliveira broke the chains of Rainer and put on one of the most impressive performances of all time. Like literally each series deserves its own anime. And I want to pitch the idea, like this should be an anime. No question. This is one of the greatest stories ever told in StarCraft 2's history. And no, actually, what am I saying? This is not one of, this is the greatest story ever told in StarCraft 2's history. And it starts off with him making the playoffs by 1 map over 2 players. He was 1 map away from missing the playoffs. It was 6-6, and he finished ahead of Neeb and Cure, who both went 6-7, 5-6. He was 1 map away from missing the playoffs. And he clutched it out in the biggest, the biggest upset, the biggest clutch run of all time. I'm shaking, I'm crying, I'm emotional. I feel like I feel like a man who was fulfilled. He takes down a Hero Marine who was the only player who beat Maru. This is it's nuts. It is nuts. I feel like I've just I feel like I just killed Voldemort, and now I'm like, what do I do? What do I do with my hands? You know, like I don't know what to do. I'm at a loss right now. This is time evolved into Oliveira. He absolutely did. He absolutely did. This is so beautiful. It is. This is one of the moments in StarCraft 2's history, and I wanted to give it its due, because unlike any tournament I have watched, so this has an argument for the greatest story in esports ever told. I was in the audience. I was in the crowd live for OG versus PSG LGD, the Dota 2 championship, the ultimate Cinderella story in StarCraft 2, or sorry, in esports, the ultimate Cinderella story in Dota 2. And this feels on par with that. This feels like that. I don't think we will ever have a moment like this in StarCraft 2 again. I want to believe that we will. And you know what? Maybe we will. But goddamn, I'm just here. I'm just here for it, and I wanted to share it with you guys and like kind of express yeah, the translation of the Chinese tournament. I have waited so long. Last year was so hard. I thought SC2 was over for me, but I told myself I'll practice more. If I become a champion, I'll show you. And you know what? He showed us. He showed everyone. And that line, look at me now, like, God, I'm so in love with StarCraft right now. Yeah, you couldn't have put it better there, Royalty. I feel so happy about this. Like, this is... It's a dream come true for your average guy, the everyman. And this, like, okay, so all the storyline aside, even just pushing that to the side, this is one of the hardest runs anyone has ever had for a top 8. I've talked about players having great runs, like Scarlett's run at, I forget what the name of the tournament is. I'm not going to look it up right now, but she beat like Cure. She beat, I think SOS. She beat Trap. It was, I don't know. I'm mixing stuff up. Was it Pyeongchang? No, what? No, was it? No. It was, oh, was it? Yeah, it was. Yeah, SOS on the final. I'm actually mixing that up with a tournament with DreamHack Masters Last Chance, where she had a great run. But yeah, Pyeongchang, that was a great run. There's been some other great runs. This will go down in history as, technically speaking, and odds on, one of the greatest wins in SC2 history, if not the greatest. I think, you know, screw it. I'm saying this is the greatest run in SC2 history from a purely technical standpoint, beating Raynor fully powered up, Hero fully powered up, and Maru, who everyone was saying is the greatest TVT player, if not of all time. The only player who could contest him was TY, and he got dumpstered in the finals. He got destroyed, and Maru was not playing bad. Maru was playing amazing. Especially that game 5 solidifies it as the run of all time, the best run of all time. This is, I don't care about the GOAT conversation as far as who is the GOAT of SC2. This is the greatest run of all time, and you cannot take that away from Oliveira ever. He has cemented that. That is his. Do not even at me. It's his. It belongs to him, and if you try and take that from him, I will fight you. I will fight you with all of the anime power that Oliveira channeled today. Oh. Can I at you if I agree? Absolutely. Oh, my God. Can you talk about Tessero's game 5? No. Nope, I don't want to sully this. I'm not sullying Oliveira's run right now. We'll talk about, well, there's going to be a lot to talk about this tournament over the coming days, weeks, months, maybe even years. This tournament is going to be talked about for years. Oliveira deserves his own segment. This is his time in the sun. We do not talk about anything else right now. We don't talk about, and there's so much to talk about. We talk right now about Oliveira earning, ripping, scrabbling. He grabbed this tournament away. This was Raynor's tournament going into the round of 8. I watched him. He looked good. Oliveira grabbed it away from him. Then I was like, but it's Hero, man. Like, I was like, God, what a great run. But Hero looks unstoppable. He just 3-0 Dark. He's 3-0 Dark. Dark, one of the best ZVP players of all time, and he made him look like a stuffed animal. And this is Dark, who is a killer, who is stone cold, absolutely unshakable, and he rips him apart. And then Oliveira's like, nah, I've got this. This is me. This is my time. And then you're like, but damn, he's playing Maru in the grand finals. And he goes down 0-1. He gets a build order situation that he should have lost in game 2. And then he channels things so hard, turns it around. Man, it's enough to bring a grown man to tears. It's enough to make me speechless. This is... And it's so beautiful, such a beautiful storyline for the Chinese community who just had their server literally taken away. Their server was stolen from them basically because of some bullshit, like just stupid crap. They should, like, they've effectively, the Chinese community has been rendered homeless in terms of like SC2. And for Oliveira to show up and carry the flag for his countrymen in the greatest run of all time, like, God, like the storylines, like there's just so many. It's, God. How do you top it? How do you top it? You don't. You can't. You can't. You can't top this. You can't write this. You can't make this up. This is... you don't have to be anything special. I'm just a normal man. I'm just a normal man. And he had so many quotable moments in his winner's interview. And Smix, you see Smix just like, you see the tears sparkling in her eyes because she knows what the moment means. You've got Tastosis back commentating the finals of the greatest run in StarCraft 2 history. You know what? I'm at the point where I don't even care. I'm just saying this. I have literally nothing, no evidence that this happened. I have nothing that can prove this at all. And people are like, you're gonna be like, no, Steadfast, you're a liar. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I'm gonna bet that somebody somewhere owns an orphanage and it was about to be closed tomorrow. And you know what? They're a StarCraft 2 fan, they're a an Oliveira fan, a Time fan, and they're like, you know what? It's little Timmy at the orphanage. He was like, the nuns, they were just sitting there in their convent and they were praying, and it doesn't matter to what God, I don't care. That's not what this is about. And they're just like, what are we gonna do? We're down to our last $100. And they're like, well, let's all say a prayer. Maybe God will give us a miracle. And no, it was little Timmy's money from the Tooth Fairy. He had the $100, and he was like, he heard them praying, and he was like, oh, I'm just such a fan of StarCraft 2. It's a beautiful game. It's the best game ever made. And, well, I'm a big fan of Time, even though he had the silliest little change the silliest change of his name in history. It was such a weird name, but you know what? I love MMA too, so it's fine. And I'm gonna put my Tooth Fairy money on Oliveira. I don't care that the odds are 1,000,000,000,000 to 1, and I'm just gonna hope for the best. And you know what? Maybe a miracle can happen. And then Oliveira, he gets this letter from this little boy named Timmy at the orphanage, and he's just like, Timmy, I'm a normal man, but I'm gonna win this one for you. And I'm gonna come in, and he comes in and he gets that 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds, and he saves the orphanage. And you know what? Little Timmy, he's gonna end up being the next StarCraft 2 champion. In 15 years, when Stormgate 2 or StarCraft 4 or, I don't know, Warcraft 3 Reforged comes out, he's gonna win that. I don't know what's gonna happen, but like, this was one of the moments of SC2 of all time. And this was just such a special moment. This was one of the most beautiful moments. Warcraft 2 Reforged. Tooth Fairy Timmy. It's Tooth Fairy Timmy we're talking about with his little pocket money. I just want to sit here and I just want to feel like this forever, you know?